Hey guys, it's Cale. So this is week 7 for me on FTMBrotherhood, and this week's topic is orientation and identity, I believe. So I'm gonna do my spiel real quick. So I identify as a straight guy. I have been attracted to women pretty much my entire life. I remember being super confused when I was younger because I was super attracted to all my best friends, like all my straight girl best friends, and so I always kind of felt like a straight guy, way before I even knew that I was trans. So I did go through a phase in which I identified as bi. So I came out as bi probably like 7th grade. And I didn't really do anything about it. Because I didn't really feel like it was a big part of my identity. At that point, really, like, relationships and sex wasn't really a big part of my identity because I was, like, in middle school. But then I started dating a guy in high school, and I remained out as bi, but I never did anything about that, and I realized that I was quite attracted to him, and that there are many men that I've been attracted to, but I think for a really long time, the problem there was that I confused being envious of their bodies and finding them really attractive. Like before I just had surgery and everything, I'd look at a flat chest and go, "Damn, that looks really nice. I wish I had that." So as soon as I came out as trans, I kind of realized that that's what was happening there, and that like most of the men that I find attractive, it's way more about envy and wanting that body than it is about actually wanting to be with that guy romantically. Um, that being said, I guess I would identify kind of as heteroflexible. Like if there were, I wouldn't close off an option just because of gender and sex. So if I were to meet, I mean, I am in a relationship right now, but if I were to meet an amazing guy, I suppose I wouldn't have a problem with that. It wouldn't really cause a huge identity crisis for me, mostly because I'm a pretty feminine guy anyway, and I have no problem with my gender fluidity and my orientation fluidity. I think that everyone's pretty darn fluid anyway. So the thought of like sticking to one orientation and never changing it, even if there's someone exceptional, it just doesn't seem right to me in terms of just being true to yourself. That's the biggest thing that I've learned being trans and dealing with my own identity is that, like, I may not be able to understand it, but it's part of me, and I have to be true to that. And so I was bi for a really long time, and then I came out as a lesbian when I got to college, and that made a whole lot more sense to me. I could be open about my attraction to females. That was really nice. It felt like a weight was being lifted off of me. That wasn't really, I mean, it was a big part of my identity, but it was kind of discouraged by my close friends for a while, and so I didn't really do anything about it. So, like, my lesbian identity was solely that I was attracted to women. Like, I felt like I didn't really become a part of the lesbian community for a very long time because I was discouraged by my friends. So that identity was important to me, but I didn't really go into it. I didn't really analyze that part of myself. I was just like, okay, I'm attracted to women, and then I never really did anything about it. Sorry. And then I came out as a straight guy. So that happened in March, and that is a very solid part of my identity. Not the straight, but the male. So I don't identify as genderqueer. I identify solely as male. I actually think people who are genderqueer have a lot more balls. Actually, I think that's very cool when people are genderqueer. My girlfriend's genderqueer, mostly because even though I'm trans, I still fit into the gender binary pretty solidly. I know that I'm male, and so that's really nice to feel so solidly identifying with one socially acceptable gender, even if it's not the one that I started out with. The real problem with that, though, is that I not only love the queer community, I feel queer. I feel as though I belong in the queer community, but as a straight male, it's very hard to find my place within that community because trans people aren't really as accepted in the queer community, and like I understand that in a lot of ways, mostly because there are tons of different issues that you deal with when you're gay or bi or lesbian or asexual or pansexual or whatever it is that has to do with sexual orientation than the things that you deal with when it has to do with gender, when you're genderless or genderqueer, third gender or trans or anything like that. So that has been a struggle for me, being open about my straight male identity while still trying to hold on to my queer identity. Mostly because the reason I would like to remain part of the queer community is because that's where I feel I'm the most understood. Because a huge part of sexual orientation, just non-normative sexual orientation, has to do with non-normative gendered behavior. There's a lot of overlap there. I find that my identity as queer has a lot to do with the fact that my gender is non-normative. So yeah, that seems to be most of my orientation identity stuff. So I identify as a straight guy, a queer straight guy. So yeah, that's about it. And I will see you next week. Peace out, guys.